From the outside, it's a lovely Hoover home built in the 60s, but within 30 days of moving in, the Earleys started getting sick.
It was pretty quick. I would say within a couple of weeks, our daughter got this lingering cough, was always getting ear infections. Kendall started experiencing some cardiac issues, and then every couple of weeks I would just get this like weird nighttime cough. Where I'd have to use an inhaler.
What could it be? A social media post got them thinking.
Came across a girl with identical symptoms, and she was very frank about saying, if you have these symptoms, you need to check your house for toxic mold. So I did. I ordered tests that day.
At-home tests like these confirmed their fears, and they called in professionals.
That the levels in our house were actually 500 times above normal.
The family was told to leave immediately and leave everything behind.
We have found all the places that it's hiding, essentially. There is no visible mold. I think that's the scariest part of all, is that it's all hidden.
You feel helpless in the moment when it's happening. It never crossed my mind. In fact, when Kendall first mentioned it, like my thought was like, I don't see it and I don't smell it, so there's no way it could be mold.
Now they're looking at 6 figures to fix it all, ripping out the walls to the studs, a new roof, and more.
Instead of moving water away from the house, was putting water behind these walls.
Insurance won't cover the cost since this is not from a flood or natural disaster.
Beautiful home, you would never think twice. I walked in, everything looks normal, very clean.
The family hired Jose Valencia's restoration company. His trained eye quickly found the problems. The drains out front not working to push the water away.
This is not circulating out.
Leaks in the roof, and in addition, pulling on the roof to create a gap, allowing water to pour into cavities in the wall. The worst area is around back.
There's 90,000 count of spores. That's super high. It's usually between 200 and 500.
And down in the basement.
There's spores everywhere right now.
Valencia says a home inspector won't necessarily catch all of this. You need to ask specifically for a mold test.
A long exposure to mold at any age can be very dangerous.
Valencia explains mold issues are more common than you think. These photos show a job they worked at an apartment complex. As for the Earleys, and so your house sitting here now, is it worthless?
Well, we can't live in it, and nobody really can.
They've set up a GoFundMe and have already raised $20,000 for renovations. They remain optimistic.
I feel confident that one day we'll be able to get back in and, be back in a livable house.
Some residents at a Germantown apartment say they are fed up after reporting mold. Our Danielle Ledbetter breaks down when it started and what the apartment had to say about the issue.
Brianna Rossio was living in her apartment at LC Germantown for about 2 years when she started noticing something.
The vents started being moldy. Really what got my attention was my lamps in my room and my Bible were covered in mold. And I was like, what in the world? Where did that come from?
From there, she says her health started to decline.
More recently, brain fog is like the biggest thing. And then like just skin issues, rashes, other like internal problems, anxiety, depression, which I had never had in my life before.
That's when she put 1 and 2 together and realized mold could be the reason for her health issues. She says that's when she started letting the leasing office know about the problem.
They saw it, the leasing office acted completely unfazed.
According to emails sent to us by Rossio, LC Germantown told her in order for the problem to be addressed, she needed to fill out a work order request. The email says Rossio refused to submit one, but Rossio says she didn't because she felt a lack of sense of urgency in addressing her problem.
I'm going to try to do all the proper channels. Go with an attorney so that they see it's serious and professionally written. Get an inspector to come in and take a look.
The inspection took 6 samples from the fridge top, the HVAC area, and other things in her apartment and found heavy levels of various types of mold.
Some of the test results that I've gotten back from the mold samples, they're high in penicillin, and I'm super, super allergic to penicillin. So it was like I was just breathing in something that was killing me this whole life. Like it just explains so much.
Now Rossio says she wants out.
So I've tried to break my lease. I tried to negotiate with them. I tried to work with them. I was like, listen, this has cost me thousands of dollars, ER visit, different things. my rent. I haven't been able to live here for months. It's uninhabitable.
And feels she can't even get back some of the things that she's lost.
I lost 2 jobs. I mean, even relationships, honestly, because I had to stay with different people.
In those emails from LC Germantown, they told Razio she could transfer units for $500 and keep her current lease without having to sign a new one, which is not up until August 31st, 2025. Now, we did reach out directly to LC Germantown and have not heard back yet. Danielle Ledbetter, WSMV4.
Residents at a Bay St. Louis apartment complex are scared for their well-being. They've been dealing with issues and believe the matter isn't being taken seriously. Will Paulson spoke with some of their families and has more.
Brianna Beatty and her fiance recently moved into the Bay Crossings apartment complex. Not long after they got settled, they noticed discoloration in the ceiling of their 10-month-old daughter's bedroom. Beatty says the property maintenance team said it was from a leak in the apartment above her, but she says the problem has only gotten worse. This is a mold detection kit after sitting in the bedroom closet. As you can see, it's covered after being exposed for less than 24 hours.
You have to think that if it's in the air in there, then it's circulating throughout the house through the air vents, etc., which poses quite a bit of concern.
Today, mold lines the bedroom closet, and cracks and holes can be found in the roof. It's been painted over by maintenance. Beatty believes they're trying to hide the problem instead of address it.
The only reason we're here is because this is all that we can afford. Moving forward, if we can no longer live here, then what are we expected to do?
Beatty posted videos and pictures of the mold and other issues on social media. She says this opened her eyes to a bigger problem at hand.
People started reaching out with their stories and explaining how they had the same problems from years ago.
Another resident even reached out to me. She asked to remain anonymous in fear of backlash from the complex, but sent these photos. Mold surrounds their water heater and discoloration on their door and ceiling. This resident, like Beatty, is losing hope after seeing others with similar problems.
This is posing a major risk to my health as well as my baby's health, and it's not fair. It's not right. You shouldn't have to fight for livable conditions.
I stopped by the front office and met with the property manager. They gave me an email to contact their boss for an official statement. In Bay St. Louis, Will Polston, WLOX, News Now.
At this time, we have not received an official statement from the apartment complex.
Well, new tonight, a Memphis woman says she's moving out of the city because she feels a potentially cancer-causing mold is being overlooked by her apartment complex.
Right. The woman says moving is her last resort after asking the property managers to fix the problem. ABC 24's Zaria Oates has the details leading to an eviction. Zaria.
A lot of mold and no relief in sight. I was at the apartment complex earlier today and the mold is still there. These are the vents in her living room, in her bathroom. This is in one of the guest bedrooms. The former tenant, Melanie Scott, handed over her keys this evening. This comes after months of trying to solve the problem.
Melanie Scott says she first reported mold in her apartment back in August of 2023.
This is horrible.
Followed by calling the emergency maintenance line as needed, but she says nothing was done.
After that, I had gotten sick, which was the reason why I got the mold sample done.
She told me about her hair falling out and some other issues. I came back and took a look and I was concerned. It was visible mold when you see black areas in the air condition.
They sent the sample to an outside lab where results say numerous types of fungi are present. Some of them are even carcinogenic, meaning there's a possibility it could cause cancer. Kibble is a 40-year licensed lead and mold inspector, and his advice is for people in this situation to leave.
When you have an issue with mold and you can't address it, then you do need to move out because mold is going to build up. Mold builds up in your lungs.
So Scott listened and moved out. However, she withheld rent payments in November and December after the lab results came in. The apartment allowed her to choose a move-out date, but still filed an eviction. Now she's waiting on a court date.
It's like they don't care about the tenants. They don't care if we experience long-term issues from these problems, from living here. They just don't care.
We reached out to the apartment complex and the company that owns the property and have not heard back yet. A 2021 City Council ordinance does say the owner of the building must handle fees and penalties if a code official determines a lead or mold hazard exists, but never encourages tenants to withhold payment during the process. If you or someone you know is dealing with a property issue like mold, be sure to let your landlord know and document each time you notify them. Inform local code enforcement, and if you're able to, have someone sample and test the mold for your safety. Danielle.